The United States Food and Drug Administration Wednesday authorized Pfizer's antiviral pill called Paxlovid to treat COVID-19, even touting its effectiveness against the new Omicron variant. Now, Israel has also procured hundreds of thousands of doses, reportedly due to arrive in the coming weeks. Last week, Pfizer released results of their trials that showed the drug cut the risk of hospitalization or death by some 89% if given within the first few days of symptoms. Now, the FDA emphasized, however, in a statement that the pill, quote, is not a substitute for vaccination, close quote. Now, also, an Oxford University study published their initial findings that found that 3 AstraZeneca vaccine doses, that's 3 of those, including the booster there, provide protection against the Omicron variant. For more on all the above, we're joined by Mohammed Munir, a lecturer in molecular virology at the Division of Biomedical and Life Sciences, Lancaster University. Thanks for being with us here. First of all, on Omicron now, it's found that Pfizer has been somewhat less effective, at least initial studies are suggesting that, but AstraZeneca is strong against the new variant, according to Oxford. Why the difference, and what's your take on the Oxford study's findings?
Well, I think all of these vaccine, it's a Pfizer mRNA-based or Moderna mRNA-based or AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, they certainly use the same strategy to boost our immune system. So we will see certainly a high level of antibodies at the first and the second jab. But with the Omicron, that is escaping the immunity and has a possibility of 10 times more to infect the people who are vaccinated or naturally exposed, that require boosting. And boosting by any other vaccine from the previous doses certainly would have an impact on, because in the first 2 doses, there is enough memory that is established in the body. And when you give a third or the 4th dose, that memory is exploited to make more and more antibodies. So even if those antibodies are not 100% effective against the virus, the high level of those antibody would have certainly impact on, and that is the study by AstraZeneca today reporting that their 3-dose regimen would also be effective in boosting those immune responses.
And on Israel, beginning the 4th doses of the vaccine, as you mentioned, that says builds on that body's memory. Are we likely to see Europe or the UK in particular follow soon?
Well, that is actually the real issue, and my major concern on the face of the Omicron is that these vaccines, particularly the mRNA-based vaccines, they are incredible in boosting the immunity in relatively shorter time. But the issue is their longevity. They only stay the antibody inside the body for around 6 months, which means that the booster is required for every 6 months to pump up the antibody level, which isn't really a great strategy to tackle a pandemic at the global scale, because the doses that are being produced by these pharmaceuticals, that are their extreme limit. I mean, that means that more boosters in a developed nation mean less doses in the developing nation. And just to put into the context, in the last 6 weeks, more doses of COVID-19 vaccine has been given in EU, UK, and USA than in the whole year in Africa for the 2021, and this gap will carry on increasing if more and more doses are required to boost the immunity.
Now, on the Pfizer pill now that's been approved by the FDA here, a major breakthrough?
I think every pill has certainly advantage as long as they're proven safe and effective. These are certainly adding another layer into our defenses, because most of the antibodies treatment, for example, the cocktail, the Regeneron from Eli Lilly, those were effective already, but they required admission of the people in the hospital where they can be given intravenously. So that required hospitalization, and that required infrastructure to be around. Any pill that can be given at home certainly would have advantage, because that means less strain onto the hospital people can take at home. But the caveat is there that needed to be done within first 5 days of tested positive, which is really a challenge, particularly in the countries where the testing is not really at that scale.
Well, all good points, and thank you for your analysis and insight here. Mohammed Munir from Lancaster University.
Thanks for having me.